It's absolutely shocking.
Idiots.
It's so bad. Like, Michael Schumacher must be glad he's in a coma for this. While Sebastian Vettel has given the thumbs up to Ferrari's new car, but warned fans not to expect too much from this season.
Maybe 2 wins.
I'm glad he's gone to
Not with
Ferrari.
him.
Yeah, that'd be great.
We reckon them.
That'd be amazing.
So, what F1 2015 is almost upon us already.
It is. It is.
Got testing tomorrow.
It is.
Is it tomorrow or is it the day after?
No, it's tomorrow. The first testing in Jerez is tomorrow.
And what is like 4-day test or something? So 4 days of testing, and there's what 3 of these before the season maybe.
There's 3 lots of testing, so there's 1 at Jerez, which is tomorrow,
Yep.
Sunday through to Wednesday maybe,
Yeah.
and then I love this.
Classic.
Literally, when I listen to this song,
I just feel like I'm sitting in a smoky bar.
that's one thing. That's one
eating
thing
a
Whiplash has
slick
done.
dog.
Oh god, it's horrible.
What made you want to listen to jazz more?
Whiplash made me want to listen to jazz more.
Yeah,
It's great.
especially this.
It's great stuff. It's like, I mean, I love Tasteway, but this is amazing too. I don't love Taylor Swift at
I
all.
don't know.
I
I've never really listened to it. To be honest.
I do not listen to her stuff. I'd much rather listen to this.
So they're all revealing their cars.
Slowly but surely, each one is like revealed within the last week, and
Yeah.
maybe another couple tomorrow.
It's all pretty much as expected.
It's just an evolution, isn't it, from last year?
Yeah.
Oh god.
I think that kind of just bodes well for Mercedes, really.
They're the favourites.
Yeah, and I think that's rightly so, really.
Well, yeah. It's,
And I hope that they're closer and there'll be more competition there. That's what I hope. I don't know that will happen.
So, what I'm going to say is what I expect and then what I hope.
Yeah.
So what I expect is, like you, that Mercedes are going to be the standard bearer. They're going to be like, you know, what everyone is chasing again.
Yeah.
Reportedly, they've gained another 50 brake horsepower over the winter, which means there will still be 50 brake horsepower ahead of Renault, who had caught up to where Mercedes were last year, ironically enough. So there potentially won't be that much difference. Potentially, I don't know. But
Also, if you look at that mathematically, then there'll be a smaller gap. But there'll still be a gap.
so there won't be 3 seconds ahead a lap. There'll be like maybe
2.5.
2.5. Absolutely shocking.
So yeah.
Okay, so there's those 2 aspects of it. Ferrari, I expect, will be nowhere again.
Well, they more or less said that themselves, and that they're targeting 2 wins.
It's absolutely shocking.
Idiots.
It's so bad. Like, Michael Schumacher must be glad he's in a coma for this.
Oh, I don't. No.
It is so bad that
No, it is
that
awful.
team is there. I remember the last race. They qualified 9th and 10th, which is
That's depressing.
yeah.
But then now it's good because Vettel's there, and I'll be happy to see him.
I want. I won't go there yet because that's what I wish. I don't know what to expect yet.
Alright, still expect.
I'm expecting Williams to be.
Up there again.
I reckon they'll be.
Maybe even better.
I reckon they'll be possibly Mercedes' closest competitor, maybe alongside
Well-
Red Bull, because Red Bull normally have a good package. Just the engine will be lacking.
Yeah.
Getting on to the smaller teams, basically who gives a shit.
I don't think. I don't.
Now moving on to Honda, McLaren Honda.
No, that's the next story, really, isn't it?
They're the wild card in a way because potentially they could have
They could have
do
made an engine even better.
or you know what, like Braun GP did, where they came out and were just fucking all over everything. Like they smashed the competition, and
I think in reality,
I don't think they will.
I think it'll be a bit more muted than that, but there's potential.
I would like them to do well. I want them to, or still what I expect. Right, well, I expect them to be okay.
Yeah. Okay.
I think they'll build a competent car, and I think they'll be the 4th or 5th best team. Like, thereabouts, sort of like pushing the top teams. So the top teams: Mercedes, Williams, Red Bull, coming down to the next tier where it'll be McLaren possibly there, maybe Force India, and probably Ferrari. And then below that is I'll put Lotus in that subcategory based on last year where they were absolute shit. Although
back of the pack almost.
They've got a new Mercedes engine,
so they might jump.
To be fair, actually, they could be in there with the Ferraris and the McLarens.
Yeah.
So there's that aspect of it. I don't think they'll be the top.
No.
It all kind of comes down to how they package the car. So
might be like 2013 where they were there sometimes, but a lot of the time it fell apart.
I suppose potentially they could win races, or a race or two, with the engine, and if they've got a half decent aerodynamic setup, then they'll be okay. I think they'll score points. I expect them to score points at least this year. Maybe do a little bit better. Right, moving on to what I want, what I wish.
Mercedes dominance, or do you wish for?
I think ultimately I'd like more competition this year, because I don't want Mercedes. I don't want Mercedes to be like the Red Bull.
No, I don't.
The next Red Bull, where like for a few years they're just dominating, and it's just
be like, oh, there we go again. In some respect, even if it is Hamilton, it's still be a bit like.
As nice as it is, as nice as it is seeing Hamilton like finally kind of getting the wins and getting the championships.
Yeah, and it was kept alive by the rivalry.
And it's good because of that, and there will be that again this year, I'm sure.
Yeah.
At
least we'll have that.
I want that. I want Mercedes to be perhaps the standard, but I want them to be pushed. In my mind, I want to be pushed by Ricciardo, by
Alonso,
Bottas,
maybe,
and I want Alonso. I want those like 4 to be in the title fight essentially.
I could see Alonso being like qualifying, 4th, 5th still,
and being
but then being like in the
demon
race
off the starting line and
being in the race like all the time. That would be cool.
I'd love Alonso and Hamilton to fight out for the title. That's like my dream.
Yeah.
Because I'd be happy with either one.
No, yeah, that's cool. Yeah, that'd be cool.
Alonso, like the best driver in the world.
Third world champion as well.
Alonso's the best driver in the world. Everyone says that, and Hamilton's the fastest.
Yeah.
And both of them would be great as champion again. I would be really happy with that.
Yeah. They both have my respect.
I want Raikkonen to demolish either of those words.
Smash.
Destroy Vettel in every respect and just
stop him.
I will gut you like a pig.
Like a pig. So that his reputation will be in ruins.
Well, yeah, because he's already run away from Ricciardo like a squealing little pig.
Like a 9-year-old girl.
So it would be nice to be like back that up with he's still shit.
I'd love it because Raikkonen would be he wouldn't care about it. He'd be like, I just turn up and race.
No, I just drive the car.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, I would love that. I would be very, very happy if that would happen, and it possibly could, because if the car, which has been developed with Raikkonen through the development of it,
he's probably been there more.
Well, he's been there through the year where they've been making it, as opposed to Vettel, who's turned up and it's kind of like already been made.
Yeah.
Hopefully it'll be more to his liking and he can just pick up and go with it, whereas Vettel, he will pretty much struggle initially anyway. But do you know what I mean? Like, yeah, exactly. What are your thoughts on the tiny teams that are struggling for money? Like, what do you think the future is in that respect going into 2015?
Just give up.
Do you not care?
Firstly, I don't care.
So,
secondly,
this goes into the idea about Formula 1, doesn't it? I suppose, but
yeah, I mean, like in some respects, you need teams. There's always going to be a team at the back.
You need an amount of teams in Formula 1. Full stop.
Yeah, if we have 2 less teams, it will be quite a small amount of cars. I suppose you're 4 down on 22, so it was down to 18 cars then.
What
So that means there's only 8 places. There's more places with points than there are without. So maybe that's wrong. Maybe. But they could just change that. Just say the top 8 cars get.
Would you not want 3 cars per team if they were big teams?
You could see that being a potentially interesting thing to do, and if the big teams are able to do that, and it ultimately just makes more competition at the top, so it's not an issue to do that, I don't think.
Okay.
But again, you've still got teams at the back.
My thoughts on it.
I mean, I would rather they get bought and then actually progress into the mid team.
Yeah.
That's what I would want.
So my thoughts on this, because I had a discussion like this with someone else.
Yeah.
And we were talking about like the smaller teams and everything, and I was saying that smaller teams worked like in days gone by when Formula One, anyone with some money, with like money and backing and all that kind of stuff, could start a team, make a car, and
It's kind of accessible.
yeah, if that makes sense.
Or is that it's just like up here?
It's ridiculous now.
You need 300 million a year or something stupid.
It's crazy, yeah. So there's that aspect of it.
Yeah.
Where in days gone by it used to make sense for smaller teams to exist.
Yeah.
Because any one of them could come up with something amazing, because there was still
More freedom in the rules as
more
well.
freedom, and they were still understanding aerodynamics and the role of that, as well as the variety of engines as well, to be fair.
Yeah.
There was more variety in those days and less restriction. I think with today, small teams like that don't make sense particularly, because it's more about F1 making technology that can be used in everyday.
That's the route that they try to go down, and they probably will.
That's alright to leave it. Fuck it. Well, I think like these days it's about making technology that can be used in everyday.
It will filter down.
Yeah, it sort of like comes into normal cars and normal everyday stuff. So little teams can't do that. They just don't have the budget. They're constantly struggling, and they're always at the back. So I would rather have a Formula One where there are like just big car manufacturers who can spend loads of money and like just push and have more freedom. To be fair, more freedom to go down different routes, but have an overall like rule about, okay, you need to have a car that's this economical or this powerful, whatever. But underneath that, you can sort of go in different directions.
Yeah.
I'd love to have Volkswagen in Formula One. I'd love to have Ford. I'd love to
Just
have
get some of
Toyota
those
back.
to buy those teams and just actually give them enough money to do.
Yeah. And I think, to be fair, like some car manufacturers in the world have seen Mercedes and been like, we want a piece of that, because Mercedes came in and within
A couple years ago, they bought a team that.
4 years ago, was it?
Yeah.
And
Well, it was after 2009, right?
Yeah.
So 2010 on.
yeah, so they've done that, and the equivalent of the advertising that they would have had to have spent as opposed to being in F1 is they spent like 300 million last year in F1,
And they get money back for winning stuff.
and
anyway.
they get money back anyway. I think they took that into consideration, possibly.
Okay, maybe.
It's about 300 million they spent, but the equivalent, if they hadn't done that and just put the money into advertising and getting their brand out there, they would have to have spent $1 billion. So they saved a good chunk by just being in F1
True.
and winning and having their brand out there is something that's incredible and untouchable. Other car manufacturers have seen that and been like, yeah, we want some of that.
That's good.
So I think F1 kind of needs to go in that direction personally, because the more car manufacturers there are,
Yeah.
the
Can you
more
imagine
they can
having
push.
more teams than we have now as well?
If they're big teams, like I know people will say, oh, well, about Williams because they were a small team, but they've been around long enough that they started as a small team.
They're not
way back
a
when.
small team anymore.
Yeah, like they're
Really?
quite a big organisation. It's like saying McLaren, like
Yeah.
they're like one of the main big, or Ferrari for that matter, essentially, because Ferrari only make road cars initially because they wanted money to pay for their
They
Formula
literally
One.
did it to fund the Formula One.
Yeah. So again, they're kind of
They owe everything to F1, don't they?
yeah, and again, that's the brand. That's part of the thing with Ferrari.
Yeah.
So basically, the small teams, I don't really care about the little teams because they don't contribute anything. They don't add to the racing. It's interesting as almost being a filter for drivers within that formula. So they come in from what's it called? The Formula Renault and GP3, Formula 2, whatever.
GP2.
GP2, isn't it? Yeah. Formula 3, GP2. They come in from there into F1, and then they're again filtered. So they're almost given a test drive in the shitty teams.
Yeah.
And if they're good, they then get promoted to.
Yeah. I think because they've got enough of these other formulas around as well, that kind of negates the need to have those lower teams in F1.
Why don't they
some
exist in the
respects.
smaller,
Because
cheaper
you
categories?
see how the drivers are in other teams and other formulas, rather than being like, oh yeah, let's try them out in some other, lower down team.
Yeah.
You kind of just like, yeah, you're good, we'll have you.
So what do you think of Mass Effect 3, the ending?